Committees at Work. A review of the work completed by the Joint Select Committee on Finance and Legal Affairs during the third session, 2022 to 2023. The Joint Select Committee on Finance and Legal Affairs had a full schedule over the last session. Let us take a look at the work of the committee for the third session of the 12th Parliament with the chairman, Senator Hazel Thompson-Ahye. What is the role and mandate of the Committee of Finance and Legal Affairs?
Our committee is a joint select committee consisting of parliamentarians across the divide, government, opposition, and independent. And in our inquiry, we hold the executive to account. So it's an oversight, it's a way of keeping the executive in check to make sure that everything is done that is best for the country.
What are the areas of ministerial responsibility that fall within your committee's purview?
Well, my committee, which is the JSC Joint Select Committee on Finance and Legal Affairs, is what we call an omnibus committee. So it deals with a number of bodies. So we look at matters relating to management, activities, and operation of various state bodies. But our main focus is on finance, planning, trade, Tobago affairs, Office of the Prime Minister, Attorney General, Justice and Legal Affairs.
Can you briefly tell us about 3 of the inquiries the committee conducted during the last session?
Well, the first one was a follow-up inquiry, because it had started before, some years before, into the implementation of the new public procurement system. So we had the Office of the Procurement Regulation was there, Ministry of Finance, and we received written comments from the Office of the Attorney General. So the procedure is that not only do we have oral submissions, but we also have written submissions from whatever entities are involved in that particular matter that we're investigating. The main findings were that the Office of Procurement Regulation had made significant progress in preparing for the implementation of the Public Procurement Act. So that you would realize that the act has been fully proclaimed because it was brought back to the Parliament, and we voted on it, and the act has been proclaimed. Now, the true measure of readiness of state bodies and service providers can only be determined or tested as the act is rolled out. That's one of the things we saw. So you can't say right away, what is the status and so on, because as we go along, we will see the progress as is being made. The other inquiry that we looked at is into the state's strategy for implementing unproclaimed legislation passed by Parliament during the last 20 years. It was really amazing that so many laws were passed. It really blew my mind to see the laws were passed, a number of them, and they were just lying there. So we decided that we would look at a number of those laws, and an important one was the Electronic Transactions Act that had been lying there for some time. So we met with officials of the Ministry of Digital Transformation, and the main findings that came out of that particular inquiry is that the government must now take into consideration new emerging technologies, changes in processes, and the changing needs of people before proceeding to fully implement the Electronic Transactions Act. Because a lot is happening in the digital area these days. Some of the people can't keep up with it. People like myself, we have to be continually learning, and especially from the younger ones. We looked at areas that have been advanced with the current partial proclamation of the Act, and to include the use of electronic signatures to conduct transactions, which is a very, very useful way of doing things. Another one we looked at is an inquiry into the efficiency and effectiveness of the Equal Opportunity Commission. Very, very important and very timely in these times. So the main findings were, 1, the level of public awareness of the Equal Opportunities Commission appeared to be low. A lot of people have problems, and they're not sure what agency would deal with that. So we needed to let people know, here is a commission that can assist you with your problem. So we were very happy to highlight the work of the Equal Opportunities Commission. And we realized, too, one of the findings was that The Act required legislative amendments to address the needs of marginalized groups not covered by the current Act. For example, the Commission has proposed that the current Act should be amended to include age and sexual orientation as status grounds on which a person should not be discriminated against.
Share some of the themes that emerged from the in-depth inquiries of the committee into other important aspects of government.
Well, one of the other matters that we looked into is the accessibility and quality of legal representation provided by the state, with specific focus on the Legal Aid and Advisory Authority. Now, there's a myth abroad that if you're getting representation from the state, it's not of high quality. So we need to let the public know that how the public benefits from the Legal Aid and Advisory Authority. We have the new Public Defender's Office as well.
How does the public benefit from the committee's efforts to highlight these issues?
So the aim really of our inquiry is to identify shortcomings or challenges within government ministries and agencies that are charged with the responsibility of improving the lives of the citizens of this country. So we investigate the operations of state bodies, such as we did with the Equal Opportunities Commission and the Legal Aid and Advisory Authority. And we are, in fact, contributing to building a society that respects the rights of individuals to justice, fairness, equal and unbiased treatment as they take on the daily realities of life. A lot of people are suffering and they don't know that there are areas there are bodies there that can help them. As a subset of the Parliament, though, the committee will continue to explore opportunities to promote and protect the liberty and freedoms of the citizens we have sworn on oath to serve. It's one of our key priorities.
What can the public expect from the committee in this new parliamentary session?
Well, in this 2023-2024 session, the committee is going to place some focus on assessing the impact of state agencies involved in tackling white-collar crime. We're going to be looking at the operation of national insurance system and consumer protection system as it relates to the banking sector. You realize that these are three very, very, very important areas that have been in the public arena, even during the budget debate, very much so. So members of the public can expect to receive invitation to submit their comments and let their voices be heard on these very critical areas. You've been saying a lot out there. Come and say it, and let us actually come to some conclusions, because sometimes people talk and they give the impression that things are facts which they are in fact not so. So the inquiry, I'll go deep and find out exactly what is going on, have the public bodies appear before us. And let me assure members of the public who work in the government that we are there not to conduct a witch hunt, but really to find out what is going on so that we can advise members of the public. We can see areas where there is need for things to be done. So in the end of the day, we want a community of people in Trinidad and Tobago where people can live in peace and happiness and feel that we care about them. We want the voices to be heard so that we can solve some of the problems that are causing people sleepless nights and a lot of unhappiness.
The Joint Select Committee on Finance and Legal Affairs is dedicated to improving the lives of citizens through its work. For more information on the Joint Select Committee on Finance and Legal Affairs, you can visit our website at www.ttparliament.org, and you can email concerns and queries to jscfla@ttparliament.org. Committees at Work. A review of the work completed by the Joint Select Committee on Finance and Legal Affairs during the third session, 2022 to 2023.